Welcome to Don't Involve Me. This week is the ratings episode. We're going to be rating random things. And to start off, we're going to do some rapid rating with Mr. Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hi, Jake. How are you?
Hello. Are you ready for this?
Let's rapid rate some things.
Rapid rate. So I'm just going to say the word. I'm just going to say something. You're going to rate it immediately.
Okay.
1 through 5, all right?
Got it.
All right. Warhammer.
5.
Banana.
It's a superior fruit. 4.
Chocolate.
3. I'm not a big chocolate guy.
Romero.
1. I hope you're listening, Ro. Nah, Ro's a 5.
Ernie.
5.
Cop out. Captain America.
That's America's ass. 5.
Cheese curds.
Oh, 5.
Broccoli.
2.
Don't involve me.
Definitely 1.
All right. The transition line. Cue the music.
Cue the music. What am I supposed to say?
The number, man.
What? Oh, am I supposed to rate the music?
Cue the music.
Oh, I said cue the music.
Oh, okay. Cue the music. All right, welcome to Don't Evolve Me, the place like Ash catching Pikachu. We don't evolve, we just level up. And today we got Tom. Hello.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Yeah, thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely. You know, I gotta be nerdier than you, so I've gotta be on more episodes.
More episodes? Well, yeah, I agree. Yeah. Like at first, I was like more episodes than me. I'm like, that's not. I mean,
not really possible, but I mean, I guess more episodes than everyone else. I gotta be nerdier than everyone else, but the host, I guess.
I feel like you don't have to try. I think you just are, which is like a compliment.
You know,
no, it is a compliment.
I accept that. I've learned to embrace my nerddom.
See, I was. We have a Discord for all like the people who regularly come on the show, and I was asking like who wants to join for like a ratings episode, and no one. I got like nothing. And I'm like, wait, who? I'm just gonna ask Tom. I mean, you're the first person I thought to ask specifically.
The only reason I did it is just because I was busy. That last weekend we were down at Pride with a couple of our friends.
Nice.
Down at the cities last week, so we were having a grand old time.
Yeah, our my stepson Scott, he was telling us this past week that when he grows up, he wants to transform into a daycare lady. And of course, he's just a kid, but like at the time, like for us, we're like, hey man, whatever you want to grow up, like whatever you want to be, we support you. Yeah. And if you want to be a daycare lady, go for it.
I mean, some of those individual or some of those private home daycares can pull in some money.
They can. My mom does daycare. She pulls a decent amount. All right, so let's get into it. So I actually don't have anything nerdy on. I was going to pull out a hat. Completely forgot on the hat. You have a shirt. You wore the shirt before.
Yeah, I had to go home and change quick. I pretty much picked up my kid from daycare, ran home. I was like, I need a nerdy shirt. So, because, Jake's going to ask me what I'm wearing. So, yeah, it's just the old classic Black Templar. Don't, avenge me, brother.
Nice. I mean, if you would have brought your work shirt, I was going to rate it, and it was going to be a 1.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. We actually didn't get t-shirts this year, so funny story for anybody that listened to the WaFest episode. We tried to streamline our shirt production because it always ended up being a mess. We always had extra. And so what we did is got a Zazzle account. Mm-hmm. And basically we put up the link and said, if you guys want a t-shirt, you can take care of it yourself. They'll ship it to you. Our hands are totally clear. Like the first person that ordered one immediately got a copyright infringement.
Oh, did he?
And you probably don't know this, but Games Workshop, the company that makes Warhammer, they're like legendary for protecting their IP. So we took anything that was like Warhammer related out of the message, and then it got flagged again the second time for being Squid Games. And so we're like, we better stop while we're ahead before we get sued or something like that. So we normally
just went with blank shirts with numbers.
Well, that was a plan to begin with, just for our theme of, Squid Games. We were like, it'd be really funny if we just got everybody in the tournament to be in green jumpsuits, and so we made it happen.
Nice. All right. So, what have you been nerding out onto lately?
Oh well, I mean, no surprise here. 10th edition 40K just dropped last Saturday.
Oh, nice.
So the big box set that came out, they always release one big box set that's like a really good value. It comes with 2 armies, and yeah, like bunch of super sweet brand new models. So yeah, I've been sitting there. My fingers are still full of super glue and all cut up from an X-Acto knife. So yeah, I've just been doing a lot of modeling, putting that whole new box together.
I heard a lot at Walkfest that was a really big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's about every 3-ish years they come out with a new edition, so it's always a fun, refreshing thing because, you get a brand new game, essentially. Mm-hmm. And it's always, with new, they always release new models and things like that, so, we get all nerdy about our plastic toy soldiers.
I definitely do want to join you guys one of these Tuesdays. Just last couple of Tuesdays were off. Well, I had to watch a Spider-Man movie, so...
Yeah. Shout out to Sneak Attack Games in Wade Park. Anybody that's looking to nerd out and learn about Warhammer, come meet us on a Tuesday, 5 to 10.
Been there once to get the Charizard card that I have appraised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were really nice about it. They were actually the store that gave us offered us the most.
Nice. Did you end up selling it?
No, I kept it.
Okay.
It was my friend's card at the time. She was trying to look to sell it and didn't really like any of the numbers. And then she ended up as a housewarming gift. That was what she gave me.
Nice. So what? Just out of curiosity, I have no idea about the value of Pokemon cards.
If it's like one of those first edition cards, I think the highest it's sold for is like, I know the highest that I remember is $50K. The one that I have is like 500. I think I've seen it maybe mint edition like 1,000.
Okay. But
the guy offered like 200 for it.
I think my brother had a lot of Pokemon cards, and my son just took them all. He got them as just a gift because my brother didn't want them anymore.
Yeah.
But I know there was like a hollow Venusaur that we looked up that I think was worth about $270 or something like that.
Was it shadowless?
I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah, that's the first edition.
It is. Yeah, it was one of the first edition, like the first run of it. But yeah,
first edition cards they're worth a lot. The second, third editions of the same card are not as valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that we were offered $220 for like all of it.
Yeah,
and $180 for the Charizard alone.
Dude, I remember being in like elementary school and kids were trading they were like, "Hey mom, I need $50 for this school project," and they were like buying holographic Charizards and stuff like that.
Nice.
And they're just like, yeah.
I wish I was smart enough to do that.
I just, if those kids kept that card nowadays and that turned into like one of the 50 grand ones, they're going to be like, "Hey, see, mom, I told you."
My cousin gave me a card and I traded the Articuno that he had. He had all 3 legendary birds. But my favorite one was, I really like Kadabra. Because I just watched the Sabrina episode.
Sure.
Where Kadabra just whipped Ash's ass. And I traded Articuno for a regular, just a regular Kadabra.
Oh man, Jake.
I know. My cousin was mad. I'm like, dude, don't give me cards then.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. All right. I've been nerding on New Vegas.
Nice.
So I know that we talked about doing a Fallout episode.
Yes.
I would like to say that I'm prepping for that, but really I bought it. It was like $7 on Steam. So I bought it for my computer. I think this is the first game I bought.
Nice.
For my computer.
I'm going to make probably an unpopular comment here and say that New Vegas is probably my least favorite of all of them.
I was going to ask you that question. Okay, what's your favorite then?
3.
Okay.
I really like the setting of 3.
Nice. Me and Sapphire have been arguing the last week or so about Fallout. Which one's the best? What's the better one? Me and her brother, we're all New Vegas. Actually, both her brothers are we're all New Vegas, and she's the only one's 4. 4 is better. I'm like, gameplay 4 is better, but overall story, I like New Vegas. The 3 I don't mind, but I just really like the reason why I really like New Vegas, and we won't get too into depth of this.
Yep, that's another episode.
But the reason why I really like New Vegas is just the factions aspect of it. And that's why I'm just playing up all the factions. That's my favorite part of New Vegas.
Yeah, that was definitely a good part of it. Because basically it allowed you to play the game 3 different ways, 3 different times, and have a kind of a new story each time. I don't know. I think just the environment. I hated just running across blank open desert.
It is constantly. It's not pretty.
Yeah. And I didn't like the realistic guns, how they had made all the guns look like real world guns. I really liked that dystopian future 50s style for everything that they made in like 3 and 4.
Yeah, they definitely went with like the outlaw cowboy feel to it. I don't know. I still really like the game. I do agree that Fallout 4 best gameplay. Just if you want to pick up the game and just play it for the gameplay aspect alone, Fallout 4 is the best. I still think New Vegas is best story-wise, but mixture of all, I can see why someone would argue 3.
4 is 2. I think they have the most factions that you can play as or play through with.
I think so. I feel like it's more black and white, whereas like the factions in New Vegas is like they all have like their own goals or they just exist. Like they don't. I guess like in Fallout 4, they all have their own goals. Each faction has their own goals, their own philosophy. It was a very philosophical game, but I don't know if Fallout's a game for. Oh, I enjoy philosophy, but I guess like the philosophy they're going for is more sci-fi than I was hoping for.
So I feel like it was a little bit different because each faction there's no inherently good faction in 4, except the Minutemen, because they're basically just the militia of the wasteland trying to make it so.
They're just trying to make everything peaceful.
Yeah, they're just trying to make stuff peaceful. Even like the what is it? The Underground Railroad.
Yeah,
ones that are trying to like free the synths or whatever. Even they kind of are evil in a way because they use a lot of shady tactics to get what they want.
Yeah.
I mean, the best way to do it, honestly, is just play partway through so you get all of the buffs and like unlockables, and then just go and murder everybody.
Oh, yeah, I agree. All right, that was our preview for the Fallout video game nostalgia episode.
Stay tuned.
That's I think probably this month. I think after I finish New Vegas, I'm gonna be like, all right, let's talk about it.
Sweet.
I also watched Avatar. Not Airbender, but Avatar.
Way of the Water.
James Cameron. No, the first one.
Oh, you've never seen the first one?
No, I've seen it before, but it's been a while.
Okay.
So I rewatched it, and I'm gonna say I'm not gonna get too in depth because I want to get into other things too. I actually really like this movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
It's a 4. It's great. It's not nothing higher than that, but I feel like the visuals are just even now, 14 years later. Was still pretty breathtaking. I mean, there were some that like were outdated. The panther looking beast. There were some scenes where I'm like, oh, the CGI isn't that great, but for the most part, it was beautiful.
Right.
And the stories, like I know it's not the most like original story, but it did work. It did its job. I think the biggest thing I would say is not the greatest, or the biggest weakness is I don't think Sam Worthington, right? That's the actor.
Yep.
I don't think he's a strong enough lead. He's a little bland.
Yeah, I agree.
He didn't do a bad job, but he's not like Chris Pine in D&D, who just carried that movie.
So I think when that movie came out, Sam Worthington was kind of like the new hot actor, and so I think they kind of just were like, let's give it to him, even though he like the range that he needed for that. Yeah, it's probably a good thing that he was CGI blue dude the entire thing, because I feel like otherwise he definitely like if he had to actually shoot those things. Those scenes you probably would notice a lot more.
Yeah. There was I think Michelle Rodriguez is in this movie too. Yep. She plays the tough
space marine female fighter pilot. Her cop.
Her like introduction, like the transition was really bad, and like she was like, all right, this is the thing we're gonna do. Was just basically explaining herself. So after I made a comment, and I was about to make it, she's like, this is really bad acting. I'm like, this is really bad acting.
Michelle Rodriguez is a terrible actress.
She's
not good.
She has one type.
Yep, she is 100% typecast.
And I mean, if she's good for her typecast.
Yeah, no,
she plays her typecast well. Everything else though,
and just don't give her many lines.
All right, let's get into the news quickie. It's time for a news quickie. Oh yeah. I normally play it outside live so that we can all hear it, but for some reason my computer does not do the volume, or it doesn't play the thing.
Oh.
It does it for everything else but this program. Speakers don't work for it. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Did you get a new program for?
No, same program. I don't know what happened.
It used to.
It's a software issue. All right, news quickie. So, Titanic, as of this episode coming out, is out on Netflix.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio Netflix or a Titanic one?
Yep. Oh. Is it too soon?
No, nothing's too soon. I'd be the type of guy that would wear like a stingray stabbing me in the chest after Steve Irwin
Oh,
died.
the South Park.
Yeah, I love that.
Dude, people were pissed off.
Even though it
on
was
that.
actually Steve Irwin, or like it was supposed to actually be Steve Irwin in that.
Oh, in the episode.
Because wasn't it like it was like a party in hell, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was actually Steve. Like it was in the thing, it was actually supposed to be Steve Irwin.
No, yeah, I know. Like, it was actually Steve Irwin, but it's like his actual family was just really mad about that episode.
I mean, you can't be mad at South Park too much.
No, I'm like, yeah, it's probably a little too soon, but let's be honest, it's kind of great too.
It was pretty funny.
No, I just think it's funny because like Titanic's coming out to Netflix, and they're like, wait, what? Did they plan this? I don't know. What was your thoughts on the whole? What was it? Not Seagate. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, Ocean Gate?
Ocean Gate. Yeah. What was your what was your thought on?
I just thought it was billionaires doing dumb billionaire shit, and so
Right.
like,
Rich people doing dumb rich people shit.
exactly. Like, oh, I have $10 bazillion. Let's go in this tiny, crappy metal submarine.
Yeah, that was like my first thought too. I'm like, why do I care that there's missing like rich billionaires in the sea? You know, like it's the sea. Don't go deep diving. Like that's. I have no problems with people like going deep diving. I think it's an industry, and I think it's an area that we should definitely look at.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't seen a lot of the ocean. However, I don't think I don't think it's a tourist thing that should be, especially when they don't have like the protocols for it. And
yeah, I'm gonna give another unpopular opinion and be like, go B2, whatever, man. Don't be flying around in helicopters. You don't want to die doing dumb rich people shit. Don't do dumb rich people shit.
Well, I mean that was travel, but yeah, that's small aircrafts have a higher rate than like actual aircrafts or bigger aircrafts like commercial airlines.
Yeah,
I mean it's that story all around. Have you been to LA?
No,
I do not blame him for
flying everywhere in a helicopter.
Yeah, the traffic's awful.
Okay,
I do not. This is more of like travel convenience. This is more the whole Ocean Gate thing was, hey, I have money. Let's go look at the Titanic through a screen and be right next to it.
But no poor people are flying in helicopters in LA.
Yeah,
to get around the traffic.
That's fair.
Point.
All right. Next thing on the news quickie. Starfield's coming out, but not the PS5.
Starfield. I'm unfamiliar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It is the makers of Fallout.
Okay.
And Elder Scrolls. They're making a space game.
Bethesda does. Okay.
Yeah. It's coming mostly to Xbox and PC right away. I think they were talking about eventually they were making it to PS5, but I think it doesn't seem like they're going to make a PS5 version.
So also very RPG-ish, open world.
Yeah,
like Fallout.
Have you ever played No Man's Sky?
No.
It's very much like No Man's Sky, where like the whole galaxy is kind of like generated,
mm-hmm.
and only 10% of the planets have life on it, and your goal is to find other life forms.
So it sounds a little bit like Mass Effect Andromeda, and they can automatically do better than that.
It reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda. It
Okay.
does. It reminds me of Outer Worlds,
Sure.
which the people who made Fallout New Vegas made Outer Worlds. It reminds me of that. It reminds me a lot of Elder Scrolls, Fallout, obviously. It's the same type.
So with it Bethesda or the...
Yeah, it's Bethesda.
Okay.
I can't say their name.
Yeah.
Other news, new Mario games coming out. Super Mario RPG, as well as Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It's a new 2D game that's coming out.
Nice.
The one thing I don't like about it, though, is like the overworld is very basic.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the like Super Mario World and Super Mario 3, where like the overworld you can like choose your path.
Sure.
And it seemed like they have this option, but it just seems very basic, and I was kind of disappointed by that.
I mean, you put anything into an RPG, I'm pretty much going to be on top of it. So.
I'm talking about the 2D scroller,
2D.
the Wonder.
But the art, yeah, you're talking about the RPGs too. But
This is a remake of N64, I believe.
Oh, okay, like Super Mario 64.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Mario RPG for I believe Nintendo 64. I've never played it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It might
that
be
one either.
for Super Nintendo too. I don't quite remember.
So wasn't Paper Mario kind of an RPG too?
Yeah, I think Super Mario RPG was before. I don't know. Don't quote me. Don't quote me on this. It was the one version of Mario games I didn't play.
Right. Trust us, we're experts on nerd things here, right?
Yes. There's so many nerd things. All right. Last little bit of news. New Superman and Lois for Superman Legacy was cast. David Cornsweet.
If I know him.
I've never heard of him.
No.
Before this.
What was his name?
David Cornsweet.
Cornsweet.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
He
looks like Henry Cavill. He looks like a younger version of Henry Cavill. I'm like, he looks like Superman.
Henry Cavill's too big of a nerd to be in Hollywood is what I'm slowly figuring out.
Yeah.
Because, he's like, oh, yeah, I go for roles that I'm, passionate about and I know a lot about. And then when they, go against the source material, he starts, yelling at the directors, and then they just don't have any place for him. They're like, sorry.
How did he get in The Man of Steel, then?
Well, that's why he's not doing The Man of Steel anymore.
Okay. Oh, because he hated all the...
Yeah, he just hated, the way, he just is very vocal about when they go against source material. That's the same reason why he's no longer in The Witcher. Season 3, I think, is his last season for The Witcher, and then after that, they're replacing him. He was very vocal about the show going nowhere near to either the book or the video games, and he was just very unhappy about that.
Yeah, I would be too.
So, yeah.
Fans want to see fans want to see their favorite stories on the big screen. That's what every fan wants. And obviously you can take different liberties, but if you're going to make your whole new story, it's might as well just start with different source material.
They can do that a lot more. Shows like that was the Witcher spinoff, the Blood Ties, whatever. That was good because it took place way before where there really wasn't a lot of story, so they could do whatever they wanted with that. So when it's like that, but if you're setting it in the same time as a book or the game, people expect stuff to be similar, not exactly the same.
Yeah,
because it can be done, like The Last of Us, where they added things, but they all made sense. But
they went to the theme of the game,
right? Which
was love. And so the stories that they told, that were the Frank and Bill episode, arguably one of the best episodes of TV ever. I don't know if you would go that far.
It was pretty hilarious. I liked it. I liked their relationship.
Yeah. But that added to the game, or that added to the lore, that added to the story, the theme of love.
Right.
I think after watching we rewatched Last of Us 2, but we have one episode left, the last one. That's the one that we've been watching Breaking Bad as well. And so when Sapphire gets sick of Breaking Bad, she's like, throw on Last of Us. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I suppose love was a very overarching theme for a lot of episodes that they kind of spent, the one with Ellie and I forget her friend's name. Riley. That was all about love.
Yeah.
And basically just, talking about their relationship and everything like that. And then you got the Frank and Bill episode. Oh, yeah, there's definitely a lot of undertones of that.
Well, even episode 4 and 5 in Kansas City, which they had to change the location from Pittsburgh to Kansas City, but they kept the same story, right? Yep. And then with Henry and Sam, they expanded, and then they expanded the villains, the hunters, which are what they're called in the game. They expanded that story, and it all led to the theme of love. Right. It added to those characters, or it added to the overall story. Whereas, if you just kind of go off and I'm gonna make my own story, it's well, you're not. Are you adding? Are you making it better? No, you're just doing your own thing. Make your own TV show then.
Right.
So, all right. Should we get into some ratings?
Let's rate some things.
All right, let's talk about the rating systems before we get into this. So, if you're new to Don't Involve Me, or you're a fan of Tom, and you're just here to listen to Tom, and you haven't heard about our rating systems, this is what our rating systems is. We do 1 through 5. 1, it's trash. It's horrible. It's just the worst. 2 is meh. It's not trash. It's not necessarily good. Some people may like it. Some people might argue for it. But for the most part, generally everyone's opinion on it is meh. 3, good. If you want to nitpick at it, you can. You can find things wrong with it. Generally, though, it's good. It's enjoyable. 4, great. There's some flaws, but it's great. 5 is elite. 5 is the best. 5 is it's the best. Usually we do this with movies. 5, it's the best of its genre. 5 is the best of its category. It is the example that people talk about when it comes to best. So that is our rating systems. On top of that, we also have plus and minus system. And that just basically means, like, if we're on a borderline edge, you know, like, hey, this product's good, but it might be great. I'm not sure. I'm leaning 3+ here. It's, you know, like, give me like a week or two, I might come back and I might make it a 4-. Or vice versa, you know, like, it's great, but I don't know if it's that great. It might be just in the good category. It's a 4-.
I was always wondering with that too. Is there, like, you know, something for the absolute worst in all of human history? Could it be like a 1-, or a 5+, like literally the greatest thing in humankind?
Like, it needs to go higher than
higher than the highest rating. You turn it up to 11.
You know, I've never come across anything like
me
that.
Me neither.
But it's there.
It's there.
I don't rate a lot of things at 1. I don't think, like...
Yeah, I mean...
Like, movie-wise, I'm like, at worst, it's like a meh. Except for Avatar The Last Airbender. That movie was trash.
Yeah, it's a bad movie.
I cannot get through that movie.
No.
And I always use it as an example.
I'd rate Black Adam as a 1.
Huh?
I'd rate Black Adam.
You think Black Adam's a 1, too?
Definitely. I watched 10 minutes of it, and I was like, this is the trashiest, shitty garbage I've ever watched in my life.
I might have made this this reference to you. You watched The Boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a VOD.
It's a VOD film,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And
VOD films are all 1s. I feel like, you know?
There's so many movies now. I'm like, this is definitely a VOD film. 'Cause they're just like standing there, and they're just like, I'm a superhero, and they're like an epic background. They're just standing there with the, like, Wonder Woman. Now every time she makes a cameo appearance in like the Do or DC films, I feel like she just does the same thing. And the music goes like in did you watch the Shazam movie at all?
I didn't.
She shows up in the worst time. Shazam dies in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, he dies, he doesn't die. And then she, like, shows up during his funeral. And the music plays, and she does her superhero pose. I'm like, why would you do this at a funeral? Like, you're not that cool. You're not that cool to be like, look, guys, I'm showing up at a kid's funeral. Look at me. My hair's blowing in the wind. That movie I gave a 3+ because it's actually a fun movie. But, like, I think now I give it a 3-. Anyway, so in this episode, we're rating things. We're just I have 3 categories. Tom came up with 3 categories.
I got 3 categories.
And I think I had 3 examples of each category. And I think the other person should, like, if it's not your category, you come up with 2 to rate.
Okay.
And we'll see how far we can go without making this too long.
Okay.
All right, so I put you first.
Okay. Which one do I want to do first? So I stuck with 1 just because I use this as an example.
Okay.
We're going to rate TV. Well, not necessarily TV. Batman's in cinema.
Okay. Batman's in cinema. You did make that. You did use that as an example.
Yep. Yeah.
I should have prepped for that one then.
So, I'm going to. Should I go all the way? Yeah, we're going to go with all the Batmans that have appeared in cinema. That should be easy.
Okay. Let's do boundaries. Kevin Conroy.
No, let's go with
live action.
We'll go with anything after. The original Tim Burton Batman.
Okay.
So be Michael Keaton,
Yeah.
Val Kilmer, George Clooney.
Are we animation doesn't count?
Nah, let's do like live action ones.
Okay. I mean, I guess we could throw it up there as like ratings too.
Okay, actually no, I can narrow it down to 3 good ones. So cuz we got modern Batmans, which I would put Ben Affleck. So Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton was just obviously the best Batman out of the original Tim Burton ones, I feel.
Yeah.
And then Christian Bale. Let's do those 3.
Okay. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's do Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton Batman.
And we could also like break this into Batman and Bruce Wayne. Because I feel like you have to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Tony Stark and Iron Man. You know what I mean? Like they're
a little bit. I feel like Marvel doesn't work, and James Gunn was talking about this too. How like Marvel doesn't really do superhero lore that great because they don't do secret identities.
True story.
Tony Stark, Iron Man, they're the same person.
True.
The only character in Marvel that kind of splits it up is Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
True.
Which I bring him up in this.
All right.
not going to tell you how.
Okay.
So, but in Batman, like he was talking about how DC, they do have their secret identities, which this is perfect because you do have to rate them both separately.
Okay.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I'll go first. So Michael Keaton as Batman. He's not astounding as Batman, but he's definitely solid. I would give him a 4-. I would give him like a 2 as Bruce Wayne. He plays a bad Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I agree. So 4- overall.
Well, 4- as Batman.
As Batman, I give him a 4. I also just watched the Flash movie, which he's in that movie.
Yeah, that's kind of why I got that thought in my mind because I kept seeing him in the previews and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
He was actually pretty good. I'm gonna give him a 4 as Batman. Bruce Wayne, okay, his Bruce Wayne in this one isn't gonna make you feel like any better. I'll give 3-. I thought he was okay, but I wasn't like wowed by it.
I just that whole "wanna get nuts" scene, like where he's like grabs the fire poker, like that. I don't know. That scene still makes me cringe, even though it's supposed to be a campy version of Batman. But man, it was cringy.
Yeah, doesn't quite work. I will say I do really like Batman Returns, and not because it's a Batman film, because I love it because it's actually a Tim Burton film. And it's like cringe, but like not cringe. It's cringe in like the best ways possible. Because like Penguin and Catwoman are just like horny as hell. And you're like, man, these two just gotta get laid and they'll be fine.
I feel like Michelle Pfeiffer was a fox back in the day.
She was. There's so many sexual puns. It's so great. Watch it drunk. It's a great movie. All right. I'll throw out my Batman then. So you got Christian Bale and Ben Affleck. I'm gonna throw Mr. Bat Nipples himself, George Clooney.
Bat Nipples McGee.
Yeah.
Whew. I arguably, I think George Clooney is by far the worst Batman and by far the worst Bruce Wayne. Out of any of them.
I thought his Bruce Wayne was fine, but he was almost like too pretty as like a person, and he doesn't like have much of a personality.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is like he lacked the personality of. Like,
he has the
Bruce
look.
Wayne. Yeah, he does. Because he was like Hollywood's leading man back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'd definitely give him like maybe a 3- overall on everything.
I gave it a 2+.
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie, his whole movie was like a 2. That's another movie just get drunk and watch. It's fun. It's because they like actually made the whole movie was for toys. It was to sell toys.
Right.
And they made a joke about the fact that they would be great action figures. I'm like, man, you guys are too on the nose. You don't say what you're doing. All right. Who do you want to do next? Are we just going in order, or do you want to switch it up and go new?
Oh, let's go in order.
All right. Christian Bale.
I love Christian Bale. I think overall he is my favorite Batman and Superman out of all of them. I would give him closer in both of the roles. I would say he's a slightly better Bruce Wayne than he is a Batman, and the only reason I say that is because his Batman voice is so ridiculous, and that's the only drawback of his.
Fear
Batman.
me.
That's my only like complaints about Christian Bale Batman.
It's definitely not natural, but there's like something to be said about that.
No, so like Bruce Wayne definitely 4+.
Okay.
Bruce Wayne. I would give him a solid 4 as Batman.
I agree. I would give him a 4- as Bruce Wayne. I wasn't like as sold as like. I feel like he plays the billionaire part like when he's acting on it. I really enjoy that. But when he's like his true self, I feel like he's too blah. Like I feel like he should be a little bit more broken. If that makes sense. Yeah. So I give his Bruce Wayne's a 4-. His Batman I give a 4. And overall I'd say 4.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna go out of order here then. Pattinson. Ooh, are we gonna have disagreement?
I don't know. You were saying how Christian Bale wasn't broken enough. Robert Pattinson was emo, crying, like broken Bruce Wayne that didn't even seem like Bruce Wayne.
I loved it.
Did you?
I loved it. Here's why I love it. Okay. Because this is year 2 Batman, right? He's been Batman for 1 year. Oh, I'm getting ready for this because I actually really enjoy this movie, and I enjoy this Batman because this Batman has an actual arc. Like I haven't talked Dark Knight at all, or I want to do a state of review of all the Batman movies. Dark Knight has one flaw, and it's a pretty big flaw. To the point where like it's a flaw where I think this movie's overrated because everyone's like it's a 5, and it is. I do think it's a 5, maybe a 5- because of this flaw. Batman doesn't have an arc in that movie. He kind of is just the same throughout the whole movie. This Batman has an arc. He is broken. He's a broken person. And if you think about Batman, like he has to be a broken person. He's doing it because his parents were murdered. He went through this whole rigorous training to get to where he is. And that whole movie, he's doing violence. He's vengeance. And that's why I really like it. I might hate it in the second movie, depending where it goes. But the reason why I love it is because there's a path moving forward. And they would talk about it where like, hey, you have to make an appearance at some point. You have to be a better person. And that's why I enjoy it. I enjoy the starting point. But I will say, like, is Bruce Wayne's almost like an NA. It's incomplete. And it's definitely not the Bruce Wayne that we know. But I do like that it's broken.
Yeah, I just like... He was so broken in that I feel like Bruce Wayne didn't exist. Or like he was just this completely different character than Bruce Wayne. Like he was so broken and so angsty that like maybe it was just because all the other portrayals of Bruce Wayne in Batman by other people where they're a little more put together, where they just went the complete opposite. I was actually impressed with his scenes as Batman. Yeah, I actually thought he did a good job.
I really like his Batman. I thought his Batman's like a 5-.
Yeah, when I first like heard like Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman, I was just like, "Fuck, really?" Like that's literally what I said.
And then sparkles.
Yeah, I know, right? And then I watched it, and I'm like, I am pleasantly surprised.
Well, like when you watch I didn't watch any movies that he was like recently in, but I did watch like scenes. And I'm like, damn, this guy's like actually a good actor. And he talks shit about Twilight a lot.
Oh, yeah.
He hated the fact that he was in Twilight. But like you join one franchise and you're stuck and you kind of typecast that way. Daniel Radcliffe didn't want anything to do with Harry Potter after he was done because he was typecast. Especially when you're an actor who has a lot more range. And I think Pattinson has that range.
Yeah.
All right, last one, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. I think he does a great job as Bruce Wayne because I feel like he's a rich billionaire asshole. So he just pulls that off. Like he pulls the snarkiness that I expect out of Bruce Wayne. I almost actually might rate him slightly higher than Christian Bale.
Okay.
Because Christian Bale, like you were saying, he only acts like the billionaire jerk.
Yeah.
When he's trying to play the billionaire jerk.
Yep.
You know. But like Ben Affleck's portrayal, you actually see him as this like cynical, I'm better than every one of you, you know, type of performance, which I kind of think that's how Ben Affleck is as a person. So it's a very natural thing. So I actually would probably give him like a 4 plus as Bruce Wayne.
I give it a 4-, just because he does have that snarkiness to him, but I never see his actual like when he gets down in serious mode. I don't think he has that. And like it's not played like well, but when he's like that snarkiness and Flash, he definitely played that snarkiness. Great 20 minutes of just comic book. You know, I like seeing heroes just being heroes on like a normal day-to-day basis, and you see that with him. And I would like to say that like Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne is just that fun, like if it was a whole movie where he was just like that grown up snarky Bruce Wayne, like he plays that off. But when it comes to like him being like a serious leader, like that Kevin Conroy and stoic leader, not quite there. So that's my only like ding on him.
Yeah, see, I always imagine Bruce Wayne. I mean, I equate Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark being very parallel, being the rich billionaire, snarky, you know, wisecracking. Like that's I consider them like kind of equal characters in that aspect. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, they're personality-wise, they're a little bit different, but yeah, they're very much the same when it comes to like their hero.
Mm-hmm.
Except, well, I mean, Tony Stark did lose his parents, but I feel like one's traumatized and one's
repressing everything.
I mean, they're both repressing. One plays it off with like a really flamboyant mask, and the other one has a very stoic mask. If that makes sense.
I don't know. I feel like they're both a little flamboyant, Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark.
Well, yeah, I guess you can't really dress as a bat and not be flamboyant.
And their superpower is money. So,
what's the phrase? I can't think of it. All right, we're just gonna move on. All right, so I have mine. So this one honestly could be its own episode, I feel.
Oh no.
And so we might do an extended race. I think a lot of people would want to jump on this, but I think we would need at least one female for this one. We're gonna rate superheroes based on their dateability.
Okay.
So the premise I'm going to set up for this is, I feel like all these need premises of some sort. Is that we're both bisexual, and we're rating, and all the heroes are bisexual or pansexual. You know, they swing both ways.
So if they lean one way, that doesn't cancel them out. If they lean one way in the comics or the movies, that doesn't cancel them out. Okay.
Yep. So the first one is Spider-Man.
Okay.
And you might be surprised by this. I'm giving him a 2. He's meh.
Yeah, he's constantly disappearing for no reason whatsoever and standing you up in dates.
He's the most unreliable boyfriend ever. He's unreliable. You know, with great power comes a horrible boyfriend. Yep. Because Spider-Man's a priority. If someone's getting mugged, he ain't showing up to your date. If there was a wedding, you know how like the Incredibles, the guy's constantly doing, it'd be like that, but he wouldn't show up. Other reasons why you don't want to date him: he's poor. He doesn't know how to make money. He's a poor dude. You also may die. You could be the next Gwen Stacy. Yeah. Or you'd be kidnapped, like MJ, constantly. So,
like in a little bit of a way, like dating any superhero puts you up for kidnapping, though.
That's fair. But Spider-Man, I feel like it's just extra. Extra. And he just overall has a bad track record. This dude's dated so many different heroes. It's never gone well for him. So yeah, he's a 2.
Okay. My turn to come up with one?
You have a rating for Spider-Man?
Yeah, I'd agree. The only reason I'd slightly do him a little bit higher is because traditionally Peter Parker is like a good, wholesome dude.
He's a great person.
So I feel like the times that he would be there, he would show up.
Oh, yeah. He's a 4 if he wasn't Spider-Man. The only reason why he's not a 5 is because he's poor.
Yeah. True story.
Actually, if he wasn't Spider-Man, no, I feel like he'd always be poor. I feel like Spider-Man has to have ADHD because he's always late, just like Flash.
And also, like, if I knew he was Spider-Man versus if I didn't know he was Spider-Man, I could maybe accept that a little bit more. Him being constant.
You'd almost have to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it'd be very selfish to be like, how dare you save those people instead of showing up on the date on time?
Right.
You know? But at the same time, like, you know, let the cops handle the small mugging.
Right. I think Peter Parker's wholesomeness would put him up to a 3 for me for dateability. Okay. I'm okay with being alone. Like, both me and my wife are like, you know, we don't have to spend every waking second together. Go do your stuff. Yeah. I'll do my stuff. We still love each other unconditionally, but yeah. I mean, just his wholesomeness, I'd put him at a 3.
Yeah. I still think maybe a 2+. He's a great person. If he wasn't Spider-Man, he'd be a 4. Or if he was able to actually balance it, 4. But I read too many comics where he's just an awful boyfriend. Great person, awful boyfriend. All right, your turn.
Superman.
Oh, you stole mine. That's fine. I should have came up with extras. No, we can go Superman. That's fine.
Dateability. I'm gonna go with a 4.
All right.
Because if I did get kidnapped, He's Superman. He'll just literally in a blink of an eye be there and save me.
Yep. And he's not going to fail. He's Superman.
Right. And he's like the most like he's the most like wholesome person ever. You know what I mean? He's Superman. Like he doesn't kill people.
Why not a 5?
Because he'd be gone constantly.
Okay.
But his trips would be a lot shorter.
Yeah.
It'd be literally like, oh, hey, sweetie, hold on a second. He'd step outside, boom, like, lightning bolt, go kill, go stop the missile, and then come back, put his tux back on, and then, be back at our date within, 5 minutes.
Okay.
So, not like 90% of the time when it's not supervillains.
I had 2 ratings for him. I gave him a 4, but there's a caveat in there. He's only a 4 if you can't actually have sex with him. Because the dude's so strong that he would wreck you in with one long flinch. He sneezes, you're dead. So he's a 4 for that reason. Otherwise, I gave him a 5. Like if he was able to work it and he didn't have to worry about it whatsoever. Smallville actually, they have one episode where they flirt around with that idea. Pun intended. He's a 5 though, I think. He's gone all the time, but he's shown in the comics that he's just he's a wholesome dude. He's a family man. Mm-hmm. He's there. And he's there more often than not.
Right.
Whereas Peter Parker, wholesome dude, he's not reliable as an actual lover. Where Superman is. He also does have the advantage. He can move very fast.
Exactly.
But Superman leaves the lower crime to other people.
Exactly.
There's other heroes, and then Superman just deals with the big stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, he doesn't have to be gone every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So it'd be a lot rarer of an occasion where he's actually standing you up or not showing up for you.
All right. You stole mine, so I'm gonna come up with another one. Which is the fun part about this. I'm gonna go Flash, and I'm gonna give Flash. I'm gonna give him a 3.
I'm gonna give him a 1. He's the world's fastest man.
Our
lovemaking is over so quick. I'm like, what happens? He thrusted 95,000 times in that 10th of a second, but I didn't feel shit.
That's the crazy thing. If that happened, would you feel all of it at once,
or none of it,
or would you feel none of it?
I'm going as okay. So,
or would there be so much friction that you're dead?
Okay, so it takes your brain to register nerve sensations. 4 1/100ths of a second. Mm-hmm. I feel like he can go faster than that.
Yeah. And if he went slow, normal speed, I feel like he would be bored.
Yeah.
Or would it be too? Well, it'd be interesting. Superman's already interesting enough, but his is more dangerous. Flash is also dangerous, but it's is there an advantage to Flash or is it a disadvantage?
I'm sticking with 1. He would turn my butthole into a time-space continuum, and then it'd all be over.
What if you were the pitcher?
Well, then I guess it's a little better, but
yeah. I don't know, man. I give him a 3. I think overall he's a great dude. He's kind of like Barry. He's like Barry Allen. He is Barry Allen. Wally West is a 4. Mm-hmm. Wally West is a great person. Barry Allen's like Peter Parker, where he's just unreliable.
Exactly.
Dude's always late. I feel like he has ADHD. Or in the Flash movie, I'm pretty sure he's autistic. To the point where I'm like, is Ezra Miller autistic? I don't know. In the Flash, he plays him like he's just watch the movie. He comes across like he's, and I mean autistic in a good way. He interacts with people in just a very unique sense.
Sure.
So
I also don't know near enough about the Flash. Honestly, I know I'm kind of a filthy casual when it comes to Marvel.
He's DC.
Right, I know that. That's why I said I'm a filthy casual when it comes to Marvel.
Oh, gotcha.
DC, I'm like, yep, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. That's who I know.
And Flash is Flash and Green Lantern. That's the top 5.
Yeah. Other than the main 5 people in DC, I know nothing about any other DC lore. So Flash is one of those ones.
That's fair. I feel like that is a casual fan take, just because there hasn't DC's been horrible with their movies. Mm-hmm. And no one just wants to watch DC anymore because they've been, for the most part, maybe good. Flash is good. I think I gave it a 4-.
Sure.
I think overall as a comic book fan, it's good. All right, you got one? You got a female for me?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of next.
I saved the female for last, which doesn't sound great.
Black Widow.
Okay. What are you giving Black Widow?
Well, I mean, if she... I guess we know what version of Black Widow, but I feel like in all of her lore, she's like...
Natasha Romanoff.
Right, she's seductive, like
Yeah.
hot.
She'll honeypot you in a bit.
Oh, yeah. But I feel like I'd be okay with it. Just because she's portrayed as being like, you know, this sexy super femme fatale, right? Like, you know, I can deal with a little bit of nonsense for that. But at the same time, she's probably a broken person for the most part. You know, you don't go through like...
You can't have kids with her.
Yeah. But we're talking dateability, not marriageability. Right?
Fair. I mean, dateability, marriageability, it's all the... I mean, it's the same.
I would rate Natasha as wifey material at like a 3 or a 3-, but one night stand material, solid 5. I would go with that crazy for one night and be fine with that.
Yeah. I think as a girlfriend material, I feel wifey material, I don't know. That's hard.
Wifey girlfriend material, serious relationship material, she would be lower, but like a side fling or like a one night stand, just for that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I'd give her 3 - 3. It's hard to say. I mean, actually, I had this one question. If you knew that somebody was honeypotting you and you're like a single man, like, would you actually say no? I don't think any man would say no in this scenario. Like, okay, I'll let the honeypot commence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, come on, Pooh Bear.
Yeah, I mean, Black Widow is tough because, one, she's a working woman.
Yeah.
And that, nothing wrong with that. But dateability, she's going to be gone a lot. She's going to be in danger a lot. And she's probably not the healthiest person. And it really depends on, like, when you're dating her, too. So, like, in the beginning of her, like, lore, she's kind of a double agent of sorts. Mm-hmm. You know, she's in the Red Room. She works for Russia, and she works for S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's kind of back and forth. She was, at one point, I believe she was, like, kind of villainous at one point.
Yeah.
So it depends where in the lore. I think she's a 2 early on. Later on, when she's, like, in her 30s, 40s, she's like a 3. I think there's 4 potential, though. I think she could be great in a relationship. Mm. But there's a lot of mental health issues.
Oh, I'm sure.
Speaking of mental health issues, I did this one as as last. Harley Quinn. I gave her a 1.
Again, yeah, with dateability, yeah, no, it's like that might be a 1-. But again,
yeah.
Okay, this is where it comes into play. 1- for dateability and wife material. Definitely a 5+ for one night stand.
I don't know if I can give her a 5+ for the fact that she might kill me.
That's what makes it a 5+. that element of danger makes it a 5+ for me.
Oh man, I can just see her at one point just being on top of you with a gun to your head, like, if you don't get me off, you're dead, and then just like that, and like there'd be such a thrill there. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's a great thing; it's just there.
I mean, if you did happen to, you know, succeed at that, then you would feel like the manliest man in the entire world. So again, that thrill of death.
She still might kill you, though.
She might still kill you.
This will never top it.
Yep.
And like that would be a Harley Quinn reasoning. What's interesting though is the Harley Quinn animated show. She's dating Poison Ivy, and I think she's actually a pretty good person and like girlfriend in the show. I haven't watched it past season 3, or I think season 2. So I don't know. I feel like a more mature Harley past her prime, maybe a 2, but not. I don't think I can give her much. I had her like written down why she's trash. I mean, she's a broken person.
She's a psychopath.
She's a psycho. She would kill you. Joker might kill you. Other people might kill you. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's definitely going to gaslight you at some point, if not the entire relationship. It's just not a good relationship.
No.
And if you're the dominant one in the relationship, then she's going to be clinging to you the entire time. So yeah, it's a 1.
I don't know who else besides the Joker could be dominant over Harley Quinn. I feel like there's literally no one.
Batman.
I suppose.
Yeah, Batman. And then there is the one animated show where Nightwing slept with her. Yeah, some of the DC shows get they mix the characters together. Like Batgirl or Batman were together once, and the Killing Joke animated show or movie, and I fucking hated it. Like this is like wrong a little bit because this is a mentor-mentee relationship where he's at least 30 and she's like in her teens. Like I don't think Batman goes this far. I don't think he goes this route. It's an interesting story, but I don't think it kills Batman as a character.
Yeah,
kills his ethical. All right, should we do one more each?
Sure.
Or I got 2 more written down.
Yeah, I got 2 more as well, but
or we can go. I might go quick with my next one.
Yeah,
because I want to do my third one. All right, you're up.
All right, this one should be pretty easy because there's only 3 of them. Rating the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy. We're not talking Hobbit or anything. Just Fellowship of the Rings, Two Towers, Return of the King.
I need to watch these again.
Oh, has it been a long time, Jake?
It's been a while.
Okay.
I might cheat and just go 4 for each of them.
4 for each of them. Okay. Let's start.
But I want to hear your takes. I need to rewatch them.
Okay. Fellowship of the Rings is definitely for me I wouldn't say worst, but the least enjoyable.
I would agree with that.
They're all at least above a 4, I would say, because they're just great cinema.
Yeah.
But Fellowship of the Rings is definitely the 4 to 4- range. There's just not a lot that goes on. There's not a lot of excitement compared to the other 2 movies. And ironically, I rate them in ranking in order of the movies that they're released, as far as like my favorite and the higher the ranking.
Interesting.
So
I know a lot of fans go 2, 3, 1 in their rankings from best to worst.
2's the best, they say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I definitely say Return of the King, the 3rd movie, is the benchmark. It is definitely a 5. For the genre, for like that high fantasy genre, there's just nothing that beats that. My favorite scene ever in any movie is from that movie, The Ride of the Rohirrim, where like King Theoden and like 5,000 Rohirrim like charge, like 200,000 orcs, knowing they're gonna die, and that like rallying death speech that he gives like gives me ASMR goosebumps till this day every time I watch it. So yeah, Return of the King's definitely a 5, 4- with Fellowship, and then I would definitely say
Two Towers.
It's really a mix up between 4 and 4+.
I was gonna give it a 4+.
Yeah,
I say 4 is because I was just giving the easy cheat route.
4+ just because the Battle of Helm's Deep is pretty baller.
Okay. Yeah, I would go 4-, 4+. The downside of like me when I watch these movies, I watch them all at once. So they like blend in.
Sure.
To the point where I'm like, I didn't watch like 3 movies. I watched one.
You watched one 12-hour movie?
Yeah, one epic movie. So I'm like, it's boring in the beginning, and then boring in the beginning, and then it gets really good towards the end. Mm-hmm. Like every movie should.
Yep. So did you watch the extended cuts? Or just
I think I watched the original cuts the first time. Because I remember I had them on DVD and they were just the original ones.
It's like over 12 hours if you watch the extended cuts, if you watch them back to back. I think I remember watching a time lapse of somebody watching all 6 extended cuts. So they watched all the Hobbit movies and all of the extended cut Lord of the Rings, and it was just shy of 24 hours.
Damn, that's a day.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Literally a day.
Honestly, that was a quick one.
That is pretty quick. All right. Let's make this quick too. So I went with, if you could only have one fast food for the rest of your life, and that's all you could eat, it's free, but you can't eat anything else other than the fast food. This is Super Size Me, but with any restaurant you can choose. And I'm rating them based on that fact. So the first one I have is McDonald's. And I gave it a 4. And here's why I gave it a 4. I don't think it's overall like, I think most restaurants are just like a 3 or a 4. I don't think there's nothing that they go, wow. But I give it a 4 because there's options. Mm-hmm. They have options. They're seasonals. Yes, I would probably hate McDonald's after like 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. But at least I can switch it up. Whereas some of these places can't really switch it up.
So I would rank, if I had to eat McDonald's for the rest of my life, I would rate it like a 2+. Simply because they do have promotional stuff, but I feel like other fast food restaurants have more and more frequent promotional things.
Fair.
Like, they very rarely come out with a new burger, and if it is a new burger, it's some slight variation of a quarter pounder or something like that. So it'll be like a quarter pounder with like all bacon and some special sauce or something like that.
When I worked at McDonald's, they had 16 options for the main menu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's
actually that was great.
It's reduced too, I feel like, over the years. They used to have a lot more. Like, they had.
Sorry about that. I was fidgeting way too much. All right, as you were saying, Tom.
So yes, McDonald's. I feel like they've lost a lot of their stuff. They used to have a lot more. Like you think about their breakfast menus, they used to have like the bagels and like 3 different breakfast burritos, and they had
the super burritos.
Yeah, they just had all this like stuff, and then like they've cut their menu down so much, just I think to save cost
and quickness.
Yeah, but like I was saying, they used to have like 2 different options for chicken. You could have a grilled or a crispy chicken, and they used to have like 4 different salads. The Southwest chicken salad was bomb back in the day.
It's pretty good. It was the best salad of the 4. I know this all too well because I worked and made all those all these like food items. The burritos were fucking bomb back then. They were good.
Dude, the bagel sauce on their bagels.
They just called it breakfast sauce.
Yeah, that was
just hollandaise sauce.
So good.
I would literally I would literally make just all the foods just with that sauce. Mm-hmm. I would buy like 10 burritos for myself.
Yes.
Like the little burritos, and I would just dip it in the breakfast sauce. And I had McDonald's yesterday. Actually, probably why I thought about this question. And I had a breakfast burrito, just the small ones. And it was so bland.
But their picante sauce is baller, though. If they bottled that stuff.
Yeah. It's good. But I was like, I need that breakfast sauce. Mm-hmm. And one day I asked for it, like how many years back? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, the breakfast sauce with the bagels. We don't have any bagels anymore, sir. It's like, you don't have what? You know, you guys, all right. Or they had mushrooms, like a mushroom Swiss burger. Mm-hmm. Fucking amazing. And then like they had the Angus mushroom Swiss wrap. Okay, I will say McDonald's was a 5 back then.
Oh yeah, if it was like 10 years ago McDonald's where they still had the bagels and they still had the much extended like lunch menu, I would say they would definitely be much higher.
All right, you talk me down to a 3.
Okay.
I don't know if there is anything higher than that.
Okay.
All right, you have an option?
I sure do. T-Bell.
Taco Bell?
Taco Bell.
What are you giving it?
I would give it. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Oh, okay.
Solid 4. Like I was talking about before, promotional items.
Oh, yeah.
They continually come out with new and good and interesting like burritos, and things like that constantly. So there's always something new to try.
That's fair.
Nacho fries are bomb.
Yep.
There's so many good staples.
I feel like I get tired of just like that type of food.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't want to say Mexican food. Because it's not technically Mexican.
No, it's like American.
Tex America, Americanized version of it. I don't know. I get tired of it. That's why I didn't put it on here. But I'm like, I wouldn't be that high.
Yeah, I don't know. The only reason I wouldn't give it higher too is because I don't know if I could handle the Taco Bell shits that often.
Maybe that's why I have it so low, because I have Crohn's. I would not handle it.
You would die. Yeah, I feel
more frequent hospital visits.
Taco Bell is rough on anybody that has normal intestines.
You gotta stop eating Taco Bell. I can't.
I can't.
I'm cursed.
Sir, your anus is bleeding. No, I can't stop.
Taco Bell, please be less Taco Belly. So I have Popeyes next. I think I'm gonna give it a 2+. Originally I put 3. The reason why I give it a 2, so it's a 2, because their options are very limited. Mm-hmm. Reason why I'm Raising Cane's also 2+. But their chicken's so freaking good.
Yeah,
I like it.
I mean, I'm gonna have to plead the 5th because I've never actually eaten Popeyes.
Never eat Popeyes?
I've never even looked at their menu.
The chicken sandwich is worth it.
Okay. I heard their shrimp was good.
I actually haven't had shrimp. Their
Yeah.
chicken sandwich is so good, I don't want to try anything else.
Yeah, from what the people told me, they actually have like a good spice on their shrimp too, so you
Yeah.
get like a little bit of kick and a little bit of flavor to it. But I've never actually personally eaten Popeyes. So.
Have you had Raising Cane's?
Yes.
What do you think of Raising Cane's?
They were chicken strips.
Yeah.
That was it. They were chicken strips.
Yeah. Did you eat it with the sauce?
The sauce was great.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why I love it.
yeah. I mean,
If you put it together, I think it's like highly rated. If you just eat the chicken strips plain, it's like it's just chicken strips.
I mean, chicken strips are good and everything, but like they're just chicken strips.
It's fair.
There's only so much you can do with it. But yeah, you have to have a bomb sauce in order to make chicken strips amazing.
That bread though, Texas.
Oh, the Texas toast,
Yeah.
but you can get that anywhere. You can buy that at a store.
Shh, it's good. All right.
It is great. It's great. I like
All right.
it.
You have one. You have another one, or should I go with my third?
I'll go with your third. We'll move
Subway.
on. Ooh, yeah.
Eat fresh, man.
I could definitely. That would be actually, I think that would be the only 5 for me.
Oh, I gave it a 3, but I gave it a high 3, like a 3+, because there's a variety of meats.
That's what I mean. Like, if you actually like went and figured out how many different combinations you could have a different sandwich for the rest of your life.
That's fair. I would get tired of sandwiches. That's why it's not higher.
I like.
If I was a worker there, and I had full reign of the kitchen, and just had to work with I did this with McDonald's. I made some baller ass stuff. But with Subway, like in this premise I'm going with, you have to be a customer each time.
Okay.
I get tired of a sandwich. There's only so many sandwiches you can have, and I feel like after a week I'd be like, God, I just don't want bread.
Do they still do salads? I know they used to.
I haven't been. I'm sure if you asked for it on lettuce, they would make it.
Yeah, because they used to actually do salads. I think they still have. I don't know if they have wraps anymore. They used to have wraps. So I mean, but yeah, I'm saying there's a million different combinations of things you could make.
That is the positive.
Yeah, that's one. At least, and also too, I would probably be somewhat healthy compared to everything else if I only ate fast food
healthy
for the rest of my life. You know?
Yeah, it's probably one of the better options. That or any of the sub places.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Diddley's Sinclair local restaurant would be pretty good.
Yeah, they do have quite a bit of variety too. They're not just like a sandwich shop.
Mm-hmm. What I used to do for a couple sub places I went to. So when I worked at the hospital, they had a substation, and then I did this for Subway. My first time working in an ABA, I had in clinic and in home that was 40 minutes away during lunch, so I'd have to grab Subway, and the people would know me as I would come every Thursday, and I'd be like, make me your favorite sandwich, and I would do that at all these places. It was always great because there's always a different worker, and they would make me something they'd make me their favorite sandwich, and it was always awesome. It was just great. Do you have another category, or do you want me to go with another one?
We each done 2, right?
Yeah, we each done 2.
All right. Yeah, we still got some time.
All right, going with yours then?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yep.
Rank or rate Game of Thrones characters in terms of fighting prowess.
Ooh. I like this one.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going deep nerd on this.
Yeah. I was not expecting it. All right.
Want me to go?
Yeah, you name yours.
All right. Bronn of the Blackwater.
Ooh.
So Tyrion's hired man.
He's at least a 4.
Yep.
That's his floor is a 4. I don't know if I can go higher than that.
So out of the people that are alive, he's definitely a solid combatant. But yeah, I wouldn't probably go any higher than a 4 either, because he's realistic about that. He knows he's a good fighter.
Yeah,
but he knows his limitations. Like when he was talking to Tyrion about being the champion for him, fighting the Mountain, he's like, yeah, I could dance around him for minutes, and, maybe get him tired, maybe get him off foot, and then get a killing blow after you wear him out. But one swipe and I'm dead.
Yeah.
One wrong move and I'm dead.
Yep.
He doesn't. He is a good fighter, but he's not that good of a fighter that even he himself says, no, I'm not going to fight anybody anywhere. He's a rogue. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
He's only going to take fights that he knows he can win, which he can win a lot of fights.
Yep.
But he knows that even by his own merits and by his own proclamations, he's
also
not the best fighter.
He's also a dirty fighter. He will fight dirty to win. Another interesting thing about Braun of Blackwater, he said this to Jamie too, because he threw the sword at Jamie. He's the one who taught Jamie to do it with left hand.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamie was cussing him out because he was getting his ass kicked. He's like, I would have beat you in your prime. He's like, yeah, you sure would have.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not in your prime.
Yep.
So, interesting. All right, Braun of the Blackwater. So, I'm trying not to steal your characters. Give me a hint if you went like the obvious ones or if you went a little deep cut. 'Cause
I can go deep cut. So, you pretty much anybody, whoever you say, I can come up with another one.
Tyrion.
Fighting prowess. I don't know. Does money count as fighting potential?
I mean, if we're going that route, he's definitely like a 4-.
Yeah, then he's like a 4-, 4+.
I'm going to give him a 3-.
Yeah, you think so?
Well, okay, 3- is a little too much. 2+. 2+.
2+?
At least a 2. Here's why. There's been many situations where people took swings at him and he survived.
Yeah, because they're not used to hitting that low.
No, but that's part of it. I mean, the Battle of Blackwater,
mm-hmm.
people took the killing blows to him.
Mm-hmm.
He survived. When he was going from the Vale back to King's Landing, he was fighting, I forget what they're called. Not stone men. Like the bandits of that region.
Oh,
I forget exactly what they're called. He fought a few off of them.
Oh yeah, then he got them to be his warriors for him later.
And then he had to fight us alongside them too in the war against the Starks.
Yeah, and then he got knocked out walking out of his tent because one of those dudes swung their hammer at him accidentally and just nailed him right in the forehead.
Mm-hmm. And then he also did some killing blows too in the final battle too of Winterfell with the White Walkers and the Whites.
Yeah.
So I would say 2+. He's at least capable of surviving.
He's capable of surviving. I would go a little lower. I would say a 2 or 2-. I think he's lucky, and I think that's where a lot of that stuff comes from.
Fair.
The only reason I don't give him a 1 is because of his money, and he can afford the best armor and best weapons that money can buy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Lannisters have the money to buy Valyrian steel blades, to have the best armor smiths in the country. So for that fact, that's the only reason why I don't rate him a 1.
Yeah. I feel like this is hard to do, where he ranks, because it's fighting prowess, where is he? What's the scale? Because this, for the scale of, he's a meh fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He's a meh fighter, but he's won a lot. He's still alive at the end.
Yeah. And
he's been in a lot of battles. That's why I gave him a 2+. I'm
right. And prowess isn't necessarily just entirely skill. I mean, it's what your gear, your,
Hey, luck plays a factor. If you have a high luck.
10 luck, man. I know anything from New Vegas.
10, you get lucky a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Or just D&D, if you get those good rolls.
Yep.
All right, next one.
Sir Arthur Dane.
Sir Arthur Dane.
Is that the Sword of the West? He was the one that fought Ned Stark and his retinue outside the Tower of Joy in the flashback.
Oh,
he's the guy.
He's a 5.
He is 100% a 5. He's the only 5. He is the best swordsman in all of Westeros history.
because I'm like, I know that name. I know he's a legendary swordsman, but I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
He is like he's not he's the legendary swordsman.
Yeah.
In the lore, like Arthur Dane is.
And Ned Stark's the one who killed him.
No,
I know.
Talon Reese was the one that stabbed him in the back.
The story is Ned Stark killed him.
True.
Hey, he distracted him. That's like
Most that was half the party.
All right, so Arthur Dane. Oh, who do I want to go for 4? Let's just go Jon Snow. I think his floor is no. He's a 5-.
Old Johnny boy.
He might be a 5 too. At least when it comes to maybe not PvP, maybe not like 101, but in battle.
There's a lot of better swordsmen. So, like, I don't know if you read the books at all or anything.
The first one I've got pretty much all the way through, and I haven't gone there after. I just don't have the brain focus to.
I would give Jon a 3 plus 4-.
Really?
There are definitely way better.
You think
swordsmen.
Bronn's better than Jon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think Bronn takes Jon into. Jon's too honorable, also.
Well, yeah, there's that. But Jon's such a good, like, I guess the Men in Black aren't great.
So I think Jon looks impressive.
He does.
Because of the company that he's in.
I mean, he's the best swordsman of that whole crew.
Right, but everyone else are beggars, rapists, cutthroats, murderers, pickpockets. Mm-hmm. He's a lord's son.
Yeah.
That grew up with a master at arms teaching him stuff.
Fair.
So it's like,
But where does he loot? Like, when has he lost?
I mean, he has plot armor. That is the main thing.
I mean, it's part of it, isn't it?
He almost gets killed in the Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
He got killed by a chick with a bow and arrow. Almost died. He got shanked by a bunch of bros with a knife and actually died.
Those are different circumstances, though. Like the getting hit with the arrow, that was his lover. Mm-hmm. That's getting shot out of nowhere.
I could name at least 4 guys in the show that could whoop his ass.
I don't know. The reason why I think Jon's higher is simply just because, like, everyone he's ever take on, he's either hold his own or dominated. Mm. And I wouldn't. The only counter to that is he hasn't really faced anyone impressive because he's up. But between wildlings, White Walkers, and whites, and like his brethren, like he's dominated.
Right. He dominates. He's a bully. We like to call these units in 40K. they're bully units.
He is a bully. Yeah.
They're ones that can punch down really good. They can kick the shit out of those low level guys. I'll name you 5 guys that would mop the floor with Jon.
Okay.
Sandor Clegane, the Hound, would dominate him. The Mountain would dominate him.
Well, the Mountain's like a cheat code almost.
Yeah, he's beatable. Oberyn Martell would dominate him. Jaime Lannister, before he lost his hand, would dominate him.
Jaime's also. Would you say he's a 5 prior to losing his hand?
Yeah, he's like he's not.
He's a 5- for sure.
Yeah, he's like a 5 - 4 plus. Before losing his hand.
Yeah. Where's Ned Stark? Like prime Ned Stark.
Prime Ned Starks would beat Jon. He's probably a 4.
Okay.
I would say. Prime Robert Baratheon would crush Jon.
It's hard to imagine what a prime Robert Baratheon looks like.
Prime Robert Baratheon in the books and like the lore is a beast.
Yep.
He just was this massive dude that had a 2-handed warhammer and like would cave dudes like plate mail in.
Yeah.
And just like all those would beat Jon in a fight. 100%. I'm trying to think of the.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I've just never like Jon just always wins.
He does because he's got the plot armor. He's the main character.
I know, but like that plays it's like Batman in fighting. Mm-hmm. Which I kind of hate when people are like Batman, Superman. Batman's gonna win. Well, He only wins when the plot allows him to win. It's otherwise it's Superman easily. It's not even a fair fight.
I forget the captain of the Knights, or not? Yeah, captain of the King's Guard. It's not Marin Trent.
Oh,
It's the guy that got his when Joffrey became king. He he was the old guy that got killed by the harpies.
Oh yeah.
He Barristan Selmy.
Yep.
Barristan Selmy, something like that. Yeah, Sir Barristan.
Yeah.
Also legendary. Like Barristan in the books and lore and everything like that is like same scale as Arthur Dayne.
That high.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, he definitely proves it in the show when he goes against the Harpies. Even though he lost, he was going against hundreds.
Right, but like when you look deep down in the books and everything, like they don't touch on like how badass this guy was.
I would really like a PvP like tournament of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'd be awesome to just like actually see like where these characters would rank in a tournament.
Yeah.
You have the last one. I know you just listed a bunch of them. You have a fun one to throw out?
Tormund Giantsbane. The big redheaded.
Yeah, I like. Yeah. He's just big.
He's big. He's a big barbarian.
I mean, floor is a 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's insulting.
Yeah, he's a 3 or 3+, but he would get wrecked in one-on-one combat.
Oh yeah, he doesn't like anyone his size. Like the Hound would kick his ass.
Mm-hmm. Well, you just got to talk about gear too. He's fighting a knight in full plate,
Yeah.
and he's just running around in leather furs.
Yeah,
He's done.
but I wouldn't. Here's the thing about like a lot of these. It's like they would go 1-on-1. I feel like it really depends on like the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, for example, like Oberyn Martell, would like he's at least a 5-, right?
Mm-hmm.
If not a 5. He beat the Mountain,
Mm-hmm.
had him dead the rights, but just
He got cocky.
he got cocky. He went for the message instead of just finishing the fight, and he lost. Wait, where do you rank the Mountain?
4+.
4+.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like skill wise, he's like a 3+, but just like his size.
It's his brute strength and size that just. His biggest downfall is his stamina and like quickness. Most people that try to fight him in his style is going to lose every time.
I feel like he actually has great stamina. Like I wouldn't say he has great stamina compared to like a normal regular sized fighter, like great stamina, but great stamina for his size.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just beat him and slow him down that way.
Mm-hmm. You definitely have to come up with a different way to fight him. He beats anybody in a brawl.
Yeah.
He beats everybody. He probably beats Arthur Dayne in a brawl.
Yeah.
But Arthur Dayne would be a smart enough swordsman where he would not fight him in that way.
So, okay. Last question, then we can move on to mine. And mine can be quick, too. It doesn't have to be that... Because we kind of talked about this a little bit. My question. This is going to be a whole YouTube video. I'm like wanted this to be a YouTube video almost. Who would win in a PvP tournament if we set it up? Who do you think would be like the final 4 out of everybody? Every main character that... Not every main character, but every character that's talked about in the show, in the books, in the lore. Give me your top 4. Like if this was a March Madness of 64 fighters.
Or Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
Top 4?
Top 4.
No particular order or rank?
Just no order. No, you don't have to give me a rating either. Just give me your top 4. Who do you think would make the top 4?
Aegon the Conqueror, Arthur Dayne. We just stopped Barristan Selmy, and that's a tough one. I need one more good one. I don't know. We'll go prime Robert Baratheon.
Okay. I forget Matt Smith's character in House of Dragons?
Oh,
Might be
Daemon.
Yeah.
Daemon, right?
Yeah.
Daemon Targaryen.
The only reason why I mentioned him is because he has a scene where he takes on like at least 10. I forget what their people are called. He takes like 10 on a fight and just individually kills like a whole platoon of people. To the point where I'm like, I don't even believe this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those 4. Khal Drogo?
No.
Not skilled enough.
Not geared enough.
That's fair. He doesn't have armor.
Yep. I mean, you saw in that fight with Khal Drogo's like prime lieutenant.
Oh yeah.
And Jorah Mormont. Jorah Mormont's about as average of a knight as you get.
Yep.
And he just kicked the shit out of him. He literally just soaked that. I forget what their swords are called.
Mm-hmm.
But he literally just like it would be like real plate armor. He just soaked it, took it, and then like killed the dude. He would be able to beat a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Just because he is a good fighter, but like, yeah, no, his gear,
Once he goes against
his gear and fighting style just wouldn't do well with like Westerosi knights.
Well, good job. I like this topic. That was fun. That one made me think. I was not prepared for that one.
Who are your other?
Huh?
Do you have any other ones in the top Royal Rumble?
I have one left. Brienne?
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah. And Arya.
Ooh, Arya's kind of an underdog right there.
Yeah, those 2. Those are like the 2 I'm like, ooh, where would you rank those? And Joffrey would just be 1. He was like 1 that was going to where does Joffrey rank? Yeah, he's a 1. He's probably a 1 minus.
I mean, he's good at shooting hookers with crossbows. That's about it.
He's like a 3 in that.
Yeah, right.
He's close range.
Yeah. God.
And they weren't running. He did.
Do you know how much hate mail and like real life hate that poor guy actually got in real life? It was terrible.
I hate when like fans, when I hear stories like that where fans are like actually like sending, like they're hating on the actors for being great actors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you hate him for being a great Joffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Joffrey as a character. He's a horrible trash human being.
Mm-hmm.
But as a character, he's like a 5-star character.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great character. He's interesting. You hate him because he's hateable.
Mm-hmm.
You like hateable characters. Do you know that hate and love are like right next to each other with neurons?
I believe it.
So like if you want to make a first impression, like you either want to be hated or love.
There you go.
Because you can always switch it. What you don't want to be is boring and.
Is that why they always say like nice guys finish last?
Yeah, because
like, ladies want a little bit of an asshole.
A little bit because like you love the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, like Jamie. If Jamie was just a boring nice guy, no one would give a shit about Jamie. He was great because he's redeemable.
I think Jamie has one of the best like character progressions of any character I've ever watched. I'm willing to say that. I think Jamie becomes like has a very long journey.
I think when you say redeemable redemption arcs, you think of Jamie Lannister.
Right.
I think of Jamie Lannister when I hear redemption arc.
Mm-hmm. And just like character development.
Yeah.
He changes characters every season. Like there's something about his character that changes every single season.
He like improves to be likable.
Mm-hmm. But then in the end, like he still is like he keeps those core values that are technically good but got him into trouble.
Yeah.
And that is like loyalty and love to the people he loves in his family. It just happens to be his sister.
Loyalty to the wrong people.
Loyalty to the wrong people. Like he's
curious.
He's loyal to a fault.
I'm curious if the books will go that route because I heard like the books, like the show was based off like George R. Martin's like ending. Loosely, but I feel like George R. I want to call him George R. Martin, not George R. Martin. I feel like he like what the outline set up is actually a great story. They just didn't understand the details, and the details is what makes Game of Thrones great. Mm-hmm. All right, this could be a whole other.
Maybe we just have to have Game of Thrones episode 2. You know what I mean?
I think so.
It could very easily.
You know, I wasn't planning on it, but I did rewatch all of it, and I was like giving my fresh takes as I was watching it.
Sure.
Yeah, let's plan on it.
Like it.
I just enjoy the lore of Game of Thrones. All right, let's get through this last rating.
Okay.
All right, video game worlds. Nerd worlds in general. Which ones you would want? Like, if you had to get teleported and transferred into a world,
Okay.
what would be the rating of these worlds?
Got it.
So, my first one is obviously
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Of course.
I gave it 2 different rankings. Now, if this is Pokemon in the anime, the video games, like if this is like the rules and the tone of those settings, it's a 5. It's an automatic 5.
Yeah.
Man, they have free healthcare for Pokemon at least.
For Pokemon, at least, right?
At least, like what's not to love about free healthcare for Pokemon? Like you can be a trainer for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a whole lot of setup. You just go there and boom, you get a free Pokemon.
Yeah, there definitely is a difference between like real life and like the anime version of Pokemon. Because if you think about it, like how irresponsible. Like, hey, you're 12 now. Go fuck off in the world.
Like just
and go catch monsters.
Imagine sending your 10-year-old kid like, all right, bye, you're out of the house now.
Yep, see ya. Go become a Pokemon master.
I give it a 3 if it's realistic.
Right.
Imagine like seeing a Beedrill out your window. Mm-hmm. Like I have a hornets or a wasp nest in my window right now that I have to take care of. If those are fucking Beedrill, I'm just moving.
I just remember seeing like an AI generated like real life Pokemon and a bunch of them, and there was this like AI generated thing of an Onyx coming out of a cave, and I was just like, hard nope.
I was thinking Onyx, dude. Just imagine an Onyx coming through your like living room and just or like your kid brings home a Charmander and it just starts the house on fire.
Hey, let's go to the lake for the 4th of July. I get eaten by a Gyarados.
And it's fresh water too, at least.
Right.
Yeah. Or like, you're driving down the road and there's a traffic jam. What's in the way? A fucking Snorlax is sleeping on the road. Like if it's realistic, it's a 3. Mm-hmm. It's still great. It's still wonderful. But there'd be a lot more tragedy.
Oh yeah, there'd be so many deaths by natural predators and things like that. Oh man, no, if it was real, it would be like that's it. I mean, you have the technology to catch these things, and it's really common to have those things as guardians or defenders, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be as dangerous as you think, but like I definitely like a 2 or a 3.
Imagine crossing the wrong 10-year-old and they just like throw out a Mewtwo and you just
your eyes start bleeding.
Like that'd just be terrifying. And not just any Mewtwo. He mega evolves it to like a Mewtwo Y or X or something. Mm-hmm. Or just even a Charizard.
Yeah, anime version, I mean, I would go like a 4.
A 4?
Yeah. I'm not as huge of a Pokemon fan as you are, but it'd still be an interesting world to be in.
Oh yeah. I still give it a 5 just for the fact there's free healthcare. For Pokemon.
Forget people. Pokemon are fine, though.
The Pokemon are like the people in the world just seem very nice. They're always like helpful and like giving. Like if there is like an asshole in the world, they're like shunned upon.
Okay.
At least in the like older animes.
All right. Dystopian Fallout future.
You stole mine again.
Oh, man. Well, I guess we just scraped my stuff away.
You want to start or should I?
I mean, realistically... Like, rating how it would be like to live in there would be terrible.
It would.
Like, radiation, mutants, giant insects, raiders, slavers. Like, life expectancy would be terrible. But, like, cool factor. Like, power armor and laser guns and Liberty Primes and
aliens
stuff like that.
Exist?
Yep.
You could live in a vault for your whole life?
No, it would be a solid, like, it would be a very depressing existence. So, I mean, it would be meh. It would be a 2.
I have 2. Yeah. Like, it's trash, but there's some good spots. There's some,
Yeah.
There's some good aspects of it. You can be whoever you want to be. Yeah, there's not really a governing agent that is going to tell you no. Mm-hmm. And if there is, you just move.
I'm likely going to die before.
You're probably going to die.
In some terrible fashion, so that's why it's not a desirable place to be, but
it's a myth.
It'd be fun.
It's like, it's most people are miserable, but hey, someone's happy somewhere. Yeah, sure. There's a oasis somewhere out there for you, where it's a 5 existence.
I mean, if I was the lone wanderer, or I was, the courier, then it's a 5.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm the main character.
I think I'm gonna do the wild card mission where I'm gonna, try to control New Vegas myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 5 for me.
Yeah.
I'm playing my D&D character where I'm just going like, what's the most interesting route?
There you go.
And I just realized I'm just playing myself.
Yeah.
And
honestly, your first characters in D&D are usually that way. They're like very similar to what you would do.
Mm-hmm. There's another character I want to play next where it's just the evil character, but it's still like it's not. Because right now I'm playing chaotic neutral, but this one's chaotic evil.
Sure.
Like you're just doing like the most evils. Yeah, definitely gonna go with Legion on that one. Just because I feel like the Legion would be like the most interesting. Where like this is the most evilest, like interesting route to go.
Are they that evil though?
Legion?
Are they anywhere more evil than the NCR?
We gotta save it. Save it.
Save it.
Save it. We're doing a Fallout one.
Yep.
This is our preview for Fallout. Shoot. You took my 2.
I only had 2, huh?
No, I had 3. You took my 2. Stardew Valley. You ever play?
Nope.
I did. It's like Harvest Moon.
Oh, so cute, chibi anime farmers.
Hey, it's a cool 8-bit game.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying what it is.
I just want to put it up there. I'm like 4. It seems peaceful.
Yeah.
There's no bills. I don't know if I ever paid for bills. I just got to farm.
Yeah, just farm and live and.
Like it's a great life. I give it a 4.
Yeah.
You got one?
Sure.
I gotta come up with another one.
Middle Earth.
Ooh. Where in Middle Earth? I feel like that matters.
You can pick.
Oh, what's the Shire?
Shire would be awesome.
That's a 5.
That's a solid 5. That's just good, wholesome, like country folk. All I do is eat and drink.
That sounds like a great existence.
Yeah, that's great.
Like,
I mean,
I fucking love breakfast. So like, if someone's like, "You want a second breakfast?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" This is just the expectation.
Overall, I would say a 4, though. I definitely think it would be a good place to live. There's enough good places in there that you can live a long, good life. But like, magic exists, dragons exist, like all this cool stuff exists.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, and I'm all about high fantasy.
Yeah,
so
you are.
like, living in Mordor, that would be a solid 1.
1 minus.
1 minus. If you're a
mark?
human.
What if you're an orc though?
If you're orc, probably good orky stuff to do there. You get to fight things. And,
What if you're a good orc? What if you're a lawful good orc?
yeah, true
Like,
story.
Like, what do you do then? Like, guys, I don't know if this is what we should be doing. Should we be killing these humans? They seem fine.
Yeah, they're not that bad, right? guys. And you are now the next meal.
Can we make that as a movie, Lord of the Rings? The lawful orc who has to like convince like other races that he's good, but then like he has to convince the orcs that like, hey, maybe our ways aren't that great.
Yeah,
That's a side story. I still want to do that podcast at one point. I have another podcast I want to do. I'll pitch it to you after.
Sure.
Last one, I think. Star Wars.
Ooh.
This one's hard for me. It varies.
Living under a galactic regime of pseudo-Nazis.
Andor makes it at least a 2 minus for me.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Andor, you should. It's good.
There's got to be some good planets out there.
Oh.
There's got to be, like good planets that are like paradise worlds and things like that.
Okay. If anyone's who's listened to The Mandalorian, I've talked about this a lot. Andor makes the Empire seem like legit and just horrible existence. You're essentially living under totalitarianism, or I cannot say it.
Totalitarian?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
You're living under oppressive regime, and it's just a novel experience because everyone's just they're just there to survive. They're just there to try to survive, and that's it. Whereas there's another world, Mandalorian Season 3. I call this like lib heaven.
Yeah.
Because it's like these people live in a dome. The leaders are Jack Black and Lizzo.
Okay.
They play different characters. I forget their names. I just know it's Jack Black and Lizzo. But like, no one works. All the robots do the work. So like the entire time you just party.
Yeah.
Like the elites there, they just party.
You're oppressing the robots, though, Jake.
No. Here's the thing, though. The robots in the episode they're old robots. They're robots of the Empire.
Okay.
And so, like, they mention how they're like, no. They're robots of the Confederacy.
Okay.
No, not Confederacy. The Trade Federation.
Okay.
So they actually mention, like, no, we want to be here. We want to serve. Our purpose is to serve. We were designed to serve.
Mm-hmm.
We want to serve these humans. Because during this, there's like a whole robot mystery, like who's making the robots do bad things. There's a whole mystery to it, and the robots, the robots during this episode was like, no, we want like this to be solved because we want to serve the humans so they don't kill us. So, are you repressing the robots? I don't know. They're serving their purpose. They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
What is my purpose? You serve butter.
Mm-hmm.
What is my purpose? You just serve butter. Oh my.
All right, I'm gonna throw out a last one.
Okay.
You might not know about this, but like the 40K universe, there's this long-stemming joke about how everybody's like, oh yeah, that would be a total thing, and like it'd be okay to live in here. Every 40K fan in the world will be like, nope. Hard 1-. It is the worst universe to live in.
We've asked this a lot, and everyone was. I think 1- is about right.
Yep.
At least the 2 is like the ceiling for this.
I mean, yeah, for certain people, it could be just fine. If you're a noble that lives on a pleasure world and you don't see anything for your entire life,
yeah,
it'd be a great universe to live in.
Oh yeah.
But like 99.997% of the rest of the human population is living in squalor and like abject poverty and like basically pseudo slavery.
Yeah, that's you know more about it, but like from what I heard, it sounds about right.
And like these genetically engineered like Spartans basically from Halo, those things get killed by the aliens and monsters of this universe. So imagine what it's like for the common dude.
Not good.
Nope, not good.
All right. Well, man, I like how we like discussed cutting this short, and then we're just like, you know what, F it, we're gonna go all the way.
Just roll with it.
So, but under 2 hours, which means this could be a YouTube video.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Tom, for coming on.
Thank you very much.
And for everyone listening still, if you want to rate this episode, please do on our Facebook page or YouTube page or whatever page that you find this on. Please give us a rating. Oh,
as long as it's a 5+.
I mean, if you truly think it's like a, well, I hope if it's a 1, just stop listening.
Yeah.
If you think it's like a 2, 3, or 4, please give us a rating. If you think it's a 5,
definitely give us a rating.
I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if I believe it yet.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks very much, Jake.
Thanks, everyone listening.